Friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are, still in Seville, and I'm still wearing the same shirt and jacket for those who are very observant on the podcast. Last podcast of the session here in Seville, and I'm with a lovely fella that I met earlier on, Kim Meldgaard, and he's the area sales manager for Power Stow. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, Kim, firstly, welcome, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. One of the reasons I want to talk to you is I was looking at some of the products, and it brought me back to when I was first with Lufthansa. Yeah. And where I was located, there was a strike, and we had the opportunity to stand in and try and get as many aircraft going as possible. So we did everything from the baggage belts, loading the baggage, and I was loading the baggage for quite a long time. My God. Full respect to all the lads, current, previous and future, who get into those, I mean, your knees and pulling the bags and then, having enough focus to try and store them correctly or as best as possible, full admiration for them. So, but I thought, my God, there must be an easier way. So that's the main reason why I wanted to get you on board. So what I'd like you to do firstly, just give us a little bit of information about Power Stow.
So Power Stow, we're a Danish company, and we produce the extendable belt loader system, which is roller track combined with conical rollers, keeping the bags on track. What we do is that we mount it on different kind of chassis, so that's up to the client what they prefer. We have been around. We actually have 20 years anniversary this year, so
congratulations.
Thank you. Been around for some time, but it's been from the beginning. Like you said yourself, you tried it. It's a very hard job.
Yep.
I was still 24 years in the meat business. I thought that was tough. This is at least the same range or even tougher. So what to do? And Martin Vestergaard, who is the founder of the company, he had the idea to do this system to help with the work environment in this business. And since then, we have been working hard, and today we are around in about 37 countries, 200 plus airports around the world.
Brilliant.
So happy to be a part of that and to go in and support the daily work on the ramp. And especially now, I will say that where you can see less and less people coming into this business, something that can help and let's say make sure that the operation is safe and running smooth, that's just getting even more important.
Well, I'll tell you what, okay, I remember like growing up, and seeing some of these fellas that, played a lot of sport and a lot of physical sport and physical work, and then you see them and you sit there, they're still fit guys. But you see their mobility, or you see with the knees and the shoulders and the arms and stuff. That's what really, really hurts me now, because I am an old guy and I did the same. And now I get up and the pains sometimes are incredible. My knees, my back, my shoulder, everything. Yeah. So the reason I just think this is great, and one of the statements that you make in your brochures is about better working conditions and reducing baggage handling injuries, by 50%.
Yes.
I mean, that to me is so valuable.
I mean, you know it yourself, and when you're young, or if you start with doing something that's a hard job in the beginning, yes, you can do everything. The bill is coming much later, and that's the problem, right? And I heard that also from guys in different airports on the ramp. Yes, it can be that you go to the fitness every day, but if you don't know how to handle the bags, then that's an issue. Yeah, so can we, and that's what we did, can we go in and make sure we bring the bags to the ramp operator, and he can simply just hold the bags in place into the cargo hold. Makes a huge difference, absolutely.
Yeah. And it brings you right. I mean, you don't have to do that pulling and twisting, and obviously you still got to do a certain amount of lifting to stack them properly. But it gives you a much better option as well, because you what's coming up to you, you've got there in front of you.
Yes.
So I remember when I was doing it, I kept saying to the boys, just put as many in as possible and let me choose the ones to build on. Because if you have to do it every single one that comes, it makes it even more difficult.
And I mean, our system is built so that in the front of the system, that's where you control it in and out of the aircraft. You can also control the speed. So the guy who's inside receiving the bags, he can decide what tempo he wants to work in, and he can even lift the front head up. So when he's stacking, he simply just have to help the bags in place.
Yeah.
So the lifting is more or less gone.
Because you got the head lifts.
There's a loading head in the front that you can lift, so you can stack up in the position you want.
Yeah.
So you more or less just have to help and guide the bags into place.
Like the old, the guy who taught me, he said, just imagine you're building a brick wall. He said, with different size bricks. He says, but you want it as flat and straight as possible.
Yes.
No, so that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And then obviously that in itself helps with a faster and a more efficient turnaround.
Of course. I mean, can you bring a surplus to the guys working there because they have many flights a day, many bags, and you don't need to do many planes, let's say the old-fashioned way. And of course, that has an effect on how you're working.
Yeah.
So that's both for the let's say the surplus you can make in your working day, but certainly also the safety around it. I mean, as less tired you are, as more, I would say, focus you have on what you're doing. So there's a lot of side effects to that.
100%. Which obviously, and the logical outcome is that it reduces operational costs.
That's another, of course, a factor. But you can say, I would say today, it actually helps you to fulfill the issues you can have during the operation. And like we said at the beginning, that hands are missing in this business today. I think there was maybe a little bit coming up before Corona, but definitely after Corona, this business has changed a lot.
Yep.
People don't want to come back, or they found, of course, other jobs. And also, I think like also an issue that has been on this conference, how to recruit people. And the new generation of young people, they have other standards maybe than what older guys like us have. So there's a change, and we have to adapt to that.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I mean, all those three criteria individually make sense.
Yes.
But as a combination and an outcome makes even more sense. Yeah. And like you said, the people that do come in, then at least they can see that their organisations care because they're reducing all that potential problems later on.
And how will you be an attractive company to work for?
Exactly. And that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Now, there's also a point that you put in there as well, is the fact that fewer aircraft and baggage damages. And like I can remember in the days, you get some guys, they want to show their strength and they just throw the bags, so that can cause damage to the inside of the hold and everything. So this also reduces that.
Absolutely.
And claims as well, I would imagine.
I mean, we have a system that, of course, dock on the aircraft floor and actually have auto-level function, so it will follow the plane up and down when it has moves.
Yep.
Of course, with a roller track system where you have on a normal conventional bell laid or 7.5 meter, and we put a system on, you have 50 rollers going inside. But that's each a point that's only touching the aircraft, so it's not one big point touching the floor.
Correct.
And that's why we can take up to 400 kilos actually moving in and out of the cargo hold.
Yeah. And that in itself, my God.
Yes.
In the old days, do you know what I mean? We used to,
Not because nobody's throwing with bags in this business, right? Yeah. So,
no, exactly.
But I mean, yes, you are really reducing the risk factor.
Yeah.
Both damaging the airplane, but also the bags.
Yeah. I remember as well, we used to get crates and sometimes there was variations of the maximum single piece load you could get.
Yeah.
So once we got it into the holds and then you got the spreaders, then you got to lift it, wedge it onto the spreaders, and you're pulling and you're pushing and only a few guys in there. It's this is a godsend. It's a gift, Yes. And please God, those people will look back one day and say, thank God we had that system rather than on the knees and just with brute strength.
Yeah, I think it's important. We're all humans. We're all resources. And how can we do something that will protect us?
Yeah, exactly. Integrate the people into the the machinery and the support. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Now, again, logical outcome. It says reliability. You use a wonderful word before reliability. Exceptional. Please explain that one. Exceptional reliability.
Exceptional reliability, I mean, I would say the other way around. I think from the beginning we did a lot of things to make sure that what we're doing actually is also working.
Yep.
That's a key word for us. It must work. So we make sure all the time to, can we do something better? We will do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't just rest on what we did 20 years ago. So there's been a continuous development, even that the product, if you look at it from outside, looks like the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with the experiences we have from different kind of climates, I mean, our products are working, if it is in Alaska, Svalbard, the Scandinavian countries where it's very cold, if it is in Asia or Middle East, all that experience we try to put into our system. And then I think what's then proving that we are doing that, is of course also to see how much we have in the market and how many clients are actually repeating the trust they have and confidence in our product.
That's important, trust and confidence. I used to live in Sigtuna in Stockholm.
Yeah.
And I remember being on the ramp, you know, and when you think of the amount of clothing you have to put on,
yes,
and then to be getting into a holds
yes,
and doing it the old way, I mean, this makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Same thing in Chicago. I've been
Yes.
on the ramp there and I felt as if my eyes were freezing over. And then you look at the other alternative, you know, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Doha, you know, Saudi, you're looking at places like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a gift to the people who need to do that job.
I mean, at the end of the day, we can do a product. We can have a lot of thoughts about how we want to do it. The real judge in this, that is the person on the ramp.
Yep.
I mean, that is their daily life. And if it doesn't work, they'll just put it aside.
Yep.
So we really spend a lot of time to be out there, try to understand and get the inputs from the ones who are working with our product.
Yep.
And that is really also a key factor to develop, or at least, you know, to understand, is there something we should change, you know?
Yeah. The practical,
do better. Yeah.
Practical feet on ground interface and knowledge is irreplaceable. You can't do it without that.
No.
And you need the people to want it.
Absolutely.
Not just be told to use it, but want to use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, brilliant.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up, your manufacturing is in Europe and the USA?
Yeah, so we have our headquarter and our main, let's say, factory in Denmark.
Yep.
And then we have assembly and sales also in America, who do the American territory.
Yep.
So whatever is going over there, we send our, we call it Power Stow kits there. And for the rest of the world, is it for Tokyo, Copenhagen, Seville, or somewhere else, we do it in Denmark. So we're very keen of having a close control on what we're doing and how we do it.
Oh, very good. Well, I know how proud you are of what you're doing, and I'm sure Martin Vestergaard is as well with his creations and his designs. Great stuff. I wished it had been around when I was stuck in the belly.
Well, yeah.
But never too late, never too late, and always welcome.
And we always have to look on the future, and I mean, that's also what we're doing. I mean, we try to be an innovative company.
Yep.
And you can say, yes, one thing is the roller track system. We also have another product called the transfer belt that is for arrival bags.
Yep.
An easy add-on system to that part of the baggage handling.
Yep.
So we try to, let's say, have a red line from what is happening on the air side and into the sorting area.
Yep.
Try to develop and understand what's going on in the market and in the industry.
No, it's so important, so important. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you very much for your valuable time.
Thank you.
Okay, the conference is coming to an end. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good night last night, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere soon in the future, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.